We're standing in the village green in Morristown, New Jersey, where in 1833, a very public and brutal hanging took place.
Public executions in the early 19th century were not all that uncommon. But what happened here in Morristown after the hanging is, and that's where our story gets weird.
Because back in 1833, the usual practice after hanging a criminal would be to have the body buried in an unmarked grave.
However, for French immigrant Antoine Leblanc, his crime was considered so brutal, the justice system had other plans. The 1833 hanging of French immigrant Antoine Leblanc caught our attention because legend claims that after he was hanged, he was dissected and his skin was made into wallets.
I think it's time to go wallet hunting.
30 miles outside New York City lies Morristown, New Jersey, a town where locals take pride in the history that revolves around George Washington and the Revolutionary War, not murder.
But hiding behind such patriotic history lies the gruesome tale of Antoine Leblanc.
In May of 1833, Antoine Leblanc arrived in New York from France to seek an American fortune. Luck came his way almost immediately as he was employed as a hired hand on the New Jersey farm of Judge Samuel Seer.
The Seer farmhouse still exists to this day, and it's here where we began to investigate what Leblanc did that made him so hated.
Here we go. Wow, certainly doesn't look like a farmhouse to me.
No, you'd never know looking at this place today that a bizarre historical incident once took place here. We're standing at Jimmy's Haunt in Morristown, New Jersey. This is the site of the original Seer family house, where Antoine Leblanc killed Samuel Seer, his wife Sarah, and their servant Phoebe back in 1833.
And today we're here with Ted Kalmar. Hi, Ted. I'm Mark Skirman.
Mark.
Hi, Ted. I'm Mark Moran.
Mark, how you guys doing?
What do you do here?
I'm the restaurant and the banquet manager here at Jimmy's Haunt, and I'd like to show you around.
All right.
Leblanc works on the farm for 2 weeks, but soon realizes the arrangement was more toil than he had bargained for.
This 31-year-old privileged European is now demoted to slopping pigs, hauling manure, and taking orders from a family of farmers.
Where are you taking us?
Now we're getting to the bowels of the building.
Ted took us downstairs to show us Leblanc's dank bedroom, which is now filled with refrigeration equipment. It was here that the Frenchman plotted his murderous rampage.
Leblanc baits farm owner Samuel Seer into the stables, claiming there is something wrong with the horses. Then, taking the spade he'd been using to shovel manure, he kills Seer by bludgeoning him.
Next, he pulls the same trick on Mrs. Seer, luring her out to the stables, where she too meets an equally grisly end.
But Leblanc had one more murder to complete. The Seers had a young live-in servant named Phoebe, who was in her bed sleeping peacefully, until Leblanc entered her room.
It was the restaurant's owner,
Hi, Jim.
Jimmy himself, who showed us exactly where Leblanc's final murder took place.
We're here with Jim Cavanaugh. His family owns the restaurant here.
Jim, we're standing beneath the original bedroom of Phoebe, who was the servant, and this was the room she was killed in, right?
That's correct. Phoebe was found murdered in this corner in a pool of blood. She had been bludgeoned to death.
We asked Jimmy if this sort of gruesome dissection was intended as a public deterrent for potentially lawless immigrants.
But what we learned was that this was a way that some local physicians kept their skills sharp, so to speak. After people died, sometimes the local doctor would dissect them to learn how the human body worked. And when fresh bodies couldn't be had, some doctors hired grave robbers.
Although there were no body parts at the restaurant, we did find a photo of Leblanc's death mask that we asked Ted Kalmar about.
This picture over here is a copy of Antoine's death mask. What they did was they took a plaster mold of his face, or his head actually, after he was killed.
I mean, they slopped the whole thing over his head and sealed it up?
Sealed it all right up for him and make a copy.
My God.
He looked so peaceful you'd never be able to tell that he was dead.
We then went to the Morristown Library to seek out any historical evidence we could find of Leblanc's trial and punishment.
Oh, it's dark in here.
bones!
Although we didn't find any skin wallets, we did come across our first piece of hard evidence concerning the fate of Morristown's most infamous villain.
Well, we still haven't found Leblanc's death mask yet, or any of his skinned wallets, but we did find some very interesting material here.
We found some original pamphlets from the time of the crime. They contain transcripts of the trial. They have a jailhouse confession given by Leblanc. And then at the very end, we have the sentence that was handed down by the judge. He will be taken from the jail 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He will be hanged by the neck until dead. And it is further considered by the court that after the execution is done, your body will be delivered to Dr. J.W. Canfield, a surgeon, for dissection. And may God have mercy upon your soul.
I think may God have mercy on his skin would be a little more appropriate, don't you think?
I think you might be right.
Our research at the library confirmed that Antoine Leblanc had indeed met a gruesome end. But 2 questions immediately came to mind.
Why would the skin of Antoine Leblanc be turned into wallets, and could these mementos still be around?
This is the Weird U.S. Home Office, where all of our strange stories begin to take shape. Would you like to come inside and see the inner sanctum for yourself?
Come on.
Let's get to work.
We spent the afternoon making phone calls to anybody we thought might have some information for us.
My name is Mark Moran. I'm with the Weird U.S. organization. I'm doing some research on the case of Antoine Leblanc. Well, we had heard that you might actually have some of his skin. That's right, his skin, yes. Hello? Hello?
But it seems not everyone shared our enthusiasm about this lost piece of history.
Finally, we did manage to track down one lead that took us to the Morristown courthouse, where Leblanc was tried and convicted for the murders of the Seer family.
When we got there, we met trial court administrator Michael Arnold. Michael took us up to the courthouse attic, where we were amazed to see the gallows lying disassembled. They had not been used since Leblanc's hanging in 1833.
There are the gallows right over there. Go take a look.
There they are.
The gallows used weren't the typical kind we all know, where a condemned man falls through a trap door and is killed by his own weight. Instead, a counterweight system was used that shot Leblanc's body straight up into the air when the weight fell, instantly snapping his neck. Our trip to the courthouse turned up some interesting information, but still not proof the Frenchman was turned into wallets.
Could the incredible legend of Antoine Leblanc be just that, a legend?
In 1833, French immigrant Antoine Leblanc was tried and hanged for the triple murder of one of Morristown, New Jersey's most respected families.
Legend around town was that after the hanging, his body was dissected and his skin made into wallets. But we want to know if the legend is fact.
So we headed back to the Weird U.S. headquarters to work the phones again. We called the New Jersey State Archives, state museums.
We called curators, legislators, we even put a call into France.
We thought we may have reached a dead end when finally we got a call that we had been waiting for.
Oh, you do? Oh, great. Do you think it's possible we can come and see him? The director of the New Jersey Historical Society said she may just have what we've been looking for.
So you think they're going to be able to lay any skin on us here or what? When we first started our little game of hide and seek with the hide of Antoine Leblanc, we weren't really certain whether the skin artifacts like wallets really existed or whether they were just part of Morristown's local lore.
We're about to get up close and personal with Mr. Leblanc, and we've heard there's a piece of him right over there.
Hi, Sally.
Hi, Sally.
Hi, Mark.
We hear you have something you want to show us.
Well, I hear that I have something you're really interested in.
Yes.
Yes, we've been waiting a long time for this moment.
Here we go.
Gloves. I didn't know this was a formal affair.
Would you
Very
want to touch
formal.
that thing?
Wow. Look at that thing.
This is the wallet.
It looks a lot thicker than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's like a pig skin. What does that say?
It says this book is made of the skin of Antoine Leblanc, hung and tanned at Morristown, 1836. And on this side it says, "Thou shalt do no murder."
There's a nice warning for you.
Well, I guess in LeBlanc's case that wasn't true.